go on expensive cruises, this is how you dress. Not the flip-flop and T-shirt cruises that you get for 800 pounds and, and you go and you see 6 islands and I don't know how you dress on those. I've never been on one of those, but when you do like the Queen Mary 2 across England to New York in upper class, it's like the Titanic. There's the lower class, and they've got the classes in the upper class, and the upper class talk down about the people that aren't in upper class. I mean, in this century. I mean, 8 weeks ago. So to think that, and they think, and then you have a certain dining room for yourself, bar, but in a couple of the main bar areas, everybody can go. Well, the snooty don't like that where the regular people frequent. Are we on? I wanted to say, and I don't really appreciate, but I understand all the shithouse lawyers we have that watch this YouTube. Shithouse meaning closet lawyers that didn't go to law school but think they know something about the law. And we had a few comments about, and actually a couple of them have actually personally written to my offices, that when I say, we're going to run towards a gunfire and kill everybody, kill. And that's the one that is going bug shit right now on the internet. These are all metaphoric examples. If you had a half a fucking brain, you weren't so fucking poor, and you had nothing better to do than to watch my YouTube, you fucking idiots. And I mean, it's like, where's Eduardo? Who's not here yet. Probably still asleep. Had too many tortillas last night. But anyway, they're worried that somebody's going to go out and kill somebody, and I've been sued for less, believe me, a lot less than that. That they're going to come back and sue me because I told them to go run towards the gunfire and kill. Now, all the guys, my combat guys, are saying that's great advice. That's exactly what we do. But when I also say fire and maneuver, because it's easier to hit a moving target, harder to hit a moving target, I should say, it's because most of the people that listen to the YouTubes sit with their thumb up their ass and don't do anything and just read more books and do more podcasts, etc., which is unfortunate, but it's an excuse, for not doing anything. And a whole industry has. How long have there been podcasts? That long? No shit. 10 years? Longer?
15 years.
Fuck. The first podcast I ever knew about was when my crack marketing staff, I say crack because it can sound like crap. My crack marketing staff suggested I do one. What, about 2 years ago, guys? 2 years ago. I never heard of the term podcast. I thought the pod is what the astronauts come down from the space in. Podcast. Anyway, and we started Ask the $50 Billion Man, I think, was the first one. And but I didn't know that they existed. But a lot of guys, and one of the my mentees that makes movies was explaining to me how they get paid. And YouTube pays you for traffic, and now I know AdSense. I knew that game, and until it changed. But I believe we used to make $250,000 a month on AdSense before it changed. But now it's very difficult, if impossible, to make that kind of money just with doing AdSense on Google. But there must be maybe 50 different models as an exaggeration. But somebody was trying to explain to me how London Real can make any money other than the accelerator and the things that they sell. And he was trying to explain to me the traffic and going to YouTube, and he used Rogan as an example. And he says, last time I did some calculations a year or so ago, Joe presumably may get as much as 50, 60, 70 grand per podcast vis-a-vis the traffic that he gets. I don't know if that's accurate or if it's true, but he explained to me how people make money on the podcasts. And so, but I'm not, that's not why I'm doing it. And for the traffic I get, I probably get pennies. So, but there's a lot of different ways that they have created to monetize basically traffic. Now, whether that traffic converts into anything, but even just for traffic, whether it converts or not, if you get millions and millions in traffic, you get money.
A rule of thumb is you get $1 per 1,000 views.
$1 per 1,000 views.
So 1 million views for your video would be $1,000. That's a rule of thumb. Well, after there's a variation between the quality of the traffic, where it comes from the United States or from Vietnam. So they compute everything at Google. That's a rule of thumb. So you need to have a lot of views. No.
So if Joe got $50,000 per podcast,
$1,000 would be 50 million views per podcast.
No, I don't think he gets. No. Maybe it was 50 million views in a year.
Yeah, then.
Well, that would mean London Reels only had 400 or 500 million views in the history of London Reel.
Brian confirmed that he doesn't make great money with the ads of YouTube. He confirmed that.
Now, you only get it if you have ads on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, about a year and a half ago, when did I try to cut the ads out? Remember I said I didn't want any ads? 1 year ago? Okay. And and then they reassigned whatever we were, because they don't like you not opting to have ads on your YouTube. And so we went back to it, even though I don't particularly like it. Again, for the benefit of YouTube, when I say run towards a gunfire and kill everybody, and they're all they're metaphors. I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, manner, or form that anybody runs. First of all, they shouldn't be in any gunfire areas. But I mean, if you live in Chicago, there's certainly gunfire. It's one of the murder capitals on the planet. But these are all metaphoric examples. And if you read, on my website, disclaimers, and on my podcasts, etc., I have plenty of disclaimers to preclude anyone misunderstanding. Today, we're going to go through some more cases. You're going to break up into your groups. We're also going to have a webinar with Joe, right? Yeah. He's going to explain to you how he got to where he's gotten in, and he did some of that yesterday when he was explaining the case of that he's in due diligence and how he romances his potential sellers. And then tomorrow, I think it is, we're going to have rocks, is it tomorrow? Friday. Yeah. Okay. And it's just, I know you're all talking about where you are or where you're not, and where you think you ought to be. And even in this room, the difference from where you are and where you intellectually or emotionally think you ought to be is a matter of focus and how much time you spend. And as I've already commented, the people, the differentiation between the people that are on the Hall of Fame and the people that aren't, other than dollar amounts, is a very simple fact that they stay focused longer. They stayed focused longer. And it's like anything else. I mean, we've got a couple guys that attempted to play golf on the golf course, although it was dark the other night. Good golfers spend more time. And I had the pleasure of meeting Ben Hogan before he died many, many years ago at his Shady Oaks, I believe is his home course outside Fort Worth. And he said, he had just attempted to give a lesson to a very a good young woman golfer, aspiring pro. And the first question he asked of anybody that asked them to get for lessons back in that day, what clubs do you play? And if it wasn't Hogan clubs, that was the end of the conversation. Even after Hogan sold out to one of the big golfing companies, if it wasn't Hogan clubs. And so he had just given this lesson. It wasn't a very long lesson. And he doesn't, when you take golf lessons, normally the golf pro goes and puts the ball down in front of you, or he tees it up for you. And it's easier to hit a teed up ball than a ball on the ground. Well, Hogan didn't. He just, kicked a couple balls over there, and she took a couple of practice swings, and then she hit a couple of balls, and she said, as he's walking away from her, I just seriously consider another profession, and walked off. Now, what does that sound like? And he said, and when we had lunch, he used to like to drink martinis at lunch. And then we talked about Carnoustie, where he won the British Open. I was a member of it at that time, 6 or 8 miles down the road. And he said to me about, how good I was. And I said, well, at that time I was a middle single digit player, which he didn't consider that great, which means I had a 5 handicap, more or less. And he didn't think that was anything to be writing home to Mama about. And but he said that you need more hours in the day, young man. I need more hours in the day to practice. And he used to say that the only thing that he ever prayed for was more daylight. More daylight. And again, it's just another way of saying, being able to stay focused longer. And Hogan and who's the guy here in Britain, Sir, guy that won the Masters 3 times, the English guy. Yeah. Now Fallow says he's hit 6 or 7 million golf balls. Okay. And there's maybe 10 golfers that have hit supposedly more than 5 million golf balls, and they're all not just because they're older, but they're from the old school. They're not watching fucking videos. There must be podcasts on golf. No fucking way. Yeah? The only way to get good at golf is playing fucking golf and hitting golf balls. You can watch podcasts from now until you're fucking a million years old. You got to hit the motherfuckers. And the way you get good at this is you pull the fucking trigger. You run towards a fucking gunfire and you kill every cocksucker there. That's how you get good at this shit. And all the rest is bullshit. Anyway, he said that. And then he died a year or two later. He was a very nice guy. But he was known as a demon. He was very harsh. He didn't have time for people that pretended that they wanted to be a professional athlete, more specifically, a professional golfer. He didn't have time. Whereas the guys out there that are selling shit, and listen to me, you don't really give a fuck if anybody gets better, in my judgment, as long as they buy your shit. And if you punch in podcast sales or sales for personal development shit on Google, a whole page, and a page after page after page of people that are, selling this stuff. And I still, and I was talking, just briefly, when I was in the kitchen watching Sally hustle around after the dogs, somebody had called last night and left a message, and I still don't understand, even though I've been doing this 23 years now, how anyone could possibly pay for the shit that's for sale vis-a-vis success, business, and personal development. I don't understand. I just don't. Okay, YouTube, sit on that, and we'll talk to you later. And I mean it.